West Valley Police discuss how to stem the rise in crime. Hundreds walk to help children cancer victims, and CSUN celebrates global diversity.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Flora Tolentino.
And I'm Annie Stonick.
Residents from the West Valley have experienced a 33% increase in crime over the past year. Itzia Freire has a report.
More than 400 residents attended a meeting that dealt with safety, deployment, and crime prevention issues. The West Valley City Hall meeting had the top brass head of the Valley Police and captains from the West Valley and Topanga Division. Councilman Bob Blumenfield finds it important to give the right information to his community's residents.
I do these big meetings to bring City Hall experts to the people in the West Valley. It's also, this particular topic, being public safety, is also a response that we've had, over the summer and in the fall, we've had an uptick in crime in certain areas. And people have been very concerned about that, understandably.
The meeting was scheduled for an hour and a half, but went well over. The Valley Bureau gave statistics and tips on improving the hike in crime. Other concerns were homelessness and marijuana usage. Councilman Blumenfield Press Deputy Jake Flynn organized the meeting.
Because we want to make sure that everybody has the same set of facts, and we know, because the reality is that we do live in one of the safest areas in the city, but for residents who've lived here for 40 years and are seeing crime to their neighbor, their neighbors are victims of crime, or they're a victim of crime, they never have been before. I completely understand that it's all of a sudden it becomes much more real.
A major concern of the meeting was an increase in theft and knock-knock burglaries. These type of burglars target certain homes by knocking on doors to check if anyone is home and breaking in. Residents have responded to the rise in crime by joining Neighborhoods Watch organizations. The meeting highlighted neighborhood information is helping police prevent crime. Armando Monarez, coordinator detective of the burglary theft unit at West Valley, says there has been a rise in burglaries.
We do not, unfortunately, deploy officers at every street corner. So we depend a lot on the information that's being passed on by the community themselves. So communication amongst themselves, passing on information about what they see, what doesn't look right in their neighborhood, giving that information to us and letting us develop leads, catch up to some of these people that are committing crime.
City Hall meetings are important for communities to understand the facts and be part of the solution, like the Neighborhood Watch. In Northridge, Itzia Freire for Valley View News.
The LA Police Commission is now planning a high-profile campaign to help the LAPD cut down on the number of shootings by officers. The LAPD has received a lot of scrutiny, especially from the Black Lives Matter movement. Some activists organized protests complaining the LAPD hasn't done enough to stop shootings. Activists say the department is too lenient on officers. The Police Commission wants to implement a new use of force policy to require officers to defuse situations before using deadly force.
Mayor Garcetti and County Supervisor Hilda Solis say a fund to help undocumented immigrants will launch later this year. The fund is called the LA Justice Fund, and it will use city, county, and private donations to hire lawyers for those facing deportation. The mayor wants to prioritize children, head of households, and victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. Almost 10% of the undocumented immigrants in the U.S. live in LA. Those who are convicted or appealing conviction for murder, rape, or robbery will not be eligible for legal aid.
For nearly 30 years, the Friends of the Los Angeles River, or FOLAR, has been devoted to restoring the LA River's natural habitat. For this year's Earth Month, the organization is expecting thousands of volunteers to help clean the LA River. Valley View reporter Jordan Williams has more.
From barbecue pits to deteriorated mattresses to just plain trash, you name it, and volunteers were picking it up. Hundreds of people showed up to the first Saturday of 3 for this year's Friends of Los Angeles River cleanup. Volunteer Juan Andrade believes cleaning the river has a big effect on the larger community.
It's not Los Angeles, it's for everyone. All this trash that gets washed up in here gets washed up to the ocean, so that helps helps the wildlife in the ocean.
CSUN student Nicholas Part believes that volunteers are making a difference, but thinks people should focus more on a large-scale solution.
It also makes me think of the plastic bag ban. And I think that might be a step in the right direction, maybe not necessarily the solution to this problem.
FOLAR's Vice President Shelley Backlar says the cleanup is a fun get-together.
It's like a work party. Literally, we've got live music. We've got people from all over the place coming today. We had over 800 people pre-registered. That's a record.
FOLAR Chairman M.K. O'Connell says it's important for people to care about the river.
This is a great public asset, and it cuts right through the center of the city. It's not the beach all the way on the west side. It's not the mountains all the way on the sort of north or east.
Once all the trash was gathered, it was sorted into many categories like cigarette butts, paper, clothes, and some unusual, bulkier items.
Shopping carts were one of the more commonly found pieces of trash at this year's Los Angeles River Cleanup. In Balboa for Valley View News, I'm Jordan Williams.
California State University Northridge is celebrating the environment with its annual Earth Fair. It's all part of this month's eco-friendly festivities. Students were able to learn about different sustainable resources while having fun. Valley View News reporter Lexi Wilson has the story.
The Earth Fair educated students on local and global environmental issues. The event included a number of education booths like Morgan Spadone's, who's not only a student but also an entrepreneur who helped grow plants to give to students.
We felt like they needed to take home a plant for free. No one's at our age really has the funds to go to a nursery and start their own garden. But we wanted to give them the tools to do so.
These vendors encourage students to take steps towards a sustainable lifestyle. Vendors provided organic tea, handcrafted jewelry, and even the CSUN food garden was here.
Many CSUN students got to participate in several different activities here today, one of them including this interactive aquarium. Students learned how to be eco-friendly and how to eat seafood and be sustainable.
Garden volunteer Stephanie Hurtado says she got involved in the garden by accident.
I had never done any sort of gardening before, and let me tell you, it was really hard. It's a lot harder than you think, but it's really fun.
In addition to the vendors selling products, there was also live music, arts and crafts, Jenga, and hammocks for students to relax. In Northridge, I'm Lexi Wilson for Valley View News.
California was in a drought, but now it has too much water. The reservoirs are dumping water from the winter storms to make room for spring snow well. The California State Board of Food and Agriculture wants to move the water to vineyards. The idea is to keep water on the vineyard grounds instead of draining it. UC Davis is experimenting how long crops will tolerate their wet roots, but neighborhood farmers are believers of the new idea.
The Orville Dam reopened just as rainstorms moved across Northern California. Water will continue to pour down the broken concrete chute for the next 2 weeks depending on how much more rain falls. The state received bids to fix the spillway ranging from over $250 million to almost $350 million. Earlier this year, thousands of residents living below the dam were evacuated due to unsafe conditions, but have been allowed to move back.
Governor John Kasich has confirmed sending 37 troopers during the North Dakota pipeline protests. Until this month, Kasich's office did not give an exact answer to authorizing highway patrol. Videos of troopers spraying protesters with chemicals and putting on riot gear have emerged. The state is not entitled to release the frequency or the type of force to the public.
Students from all over the United States and Central America attended the 12th anniversary of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, HACU. Our reporter Josue Brand traveled to Costa Rica and tells us more about this event.
8 California State University Northridge students were selected to travel to San Jose, Costa Rica to participate in the event. The conference offered workshops along with information on student, international exchanges, finance, and leadership seminars. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security was also present at the conference, offering information on applying for student visas.
So the first thing that you need to do is you actually need to be admitted to a university, and that university, college or university, has to be accredited. And it's accredited by Immigration and Customs Enforcement's CVIS program to be an institution that accepts international students. So that's incredibly important.
CSUN students attend different workshops and took advantage of networking opportunities.
My favorite workshop was called Globalizing Community College.
What I learned from being here was that there are a lot of opportunities that cater to these students' needs. It's just a matter of working through the system and the process that it takes to get enrolled in these programs.
I felt really connected with them. Like I made some friends, you know, and some really lifelong friends.
For more than 30 years, the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities has represented 450 campuses throughout the U.S., Puerto Rico, Latin America, and Spain to bring students from different universities together. In San Jose, Costa Rica, Josue Brand, Valley View News.
President Trump says the United States and China are working together to solve what he calls North Korea problem. Vice President Mike Pence visited South Korea this week, trying to reassure allies.
We are with you 100%. Even in these troubled times, we stand with you for a free and secure future.
Pence was flying over the Bering Sea in Air Force Two last weekend when the North Korea missile exploded during a failed launch. Trump reiterated last Sunday the U.S. military is rapidly becoming stronger. A recent satellite image suggests North Korea may be planning an underground nuclear test soon.
Pence made a visit to the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea on Monday. The demilitarized zone, also known as the DMZ, is a heavily fortified buffer that stretches about 160 miles long and almost 2.5 miles wide, separating North and South Korea. Many U.S. officials have visited military bases overlooking the border, but Pence says the Trump administration's approach to the regime will be different than past administrations. Pence says they're going to abandon what Obama called the strategic patience approach and redouble their efforts to bring diplomatic and economic pressure to bear on North Korea with help from China. When we come back, we'll see how LA came together to help ill kids.
And we'll have a recap on the Lakers season.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay, but remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
The Department of Motor Vehicles is investigating illegal parking reserved for the disabled. In the last 3 years, the state agency handed out nearly 2,000 citations. DMV data shows that number is increasing every year. DMV Commander Randy Vera says it's not uncommon for people who are caught to say the disabled place card belongs to a spouse. The owner of the place card must be in the car when it's parked. A citation can cost an offender $200 to $1,000.
Hundreds of people gathered to raise funds for families with sick children at the annual Walk for Kids event in Orange County. Valley View News reporter Jennifer Montiel has the story.
Whether it's on foot or on wheels, the walk provides support to families with sick children. Annie Benani is a volunteer for the Ronald McDonald Foundation.
It's early, but it's worth it, and everybody is so sweet.
The walk is more personal to some than others.
This is our sixth time coming. About 6 years ago, our daughter was at CHOC for 2.5 months. She has a stomach condition, and CHOC took really good care of her. They made us feel comfortable.
Many families with labeled t-shirts and colorful accessories come to represent their loved ones.
We came to support my aunt's son that passed away, and she was at the Ronald McDonald's house for quite some months.
The Ronald McDonald Foundation expects to fundraise around $300,000 this year.
810 people attended today. I am Jennifer Montiel in Anaheim for Valley View News.
Now let's go to Alfredo Perez, who has our sports news.
Thank you, Flor. Boston Celtics guard Isaiah Thomas showed up to play a day after the death of his sister. Before tip-off against the Chicago Bulls, the guard struggled with his emotions. Then, with a little over 3 minutes left in the third quarter, Thomas made a mid-range shot to bring the Celtics up by 3. With 7 seconds left in the third, Chicago's Jimmy Butler made a 3 to tie the game 74 apiece. In the fourth quarter, Butler made another 3 to give the Bulls a small lead. With 7 seconds left in the fourth, Thomas hit a layup to cut the lead to 2. The Bulls went on to win the game 104-102. The 4th seed Washington Wizards received the 5th seed Atlanta Hawks in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. With an alley-oop pass from Brandon Jennings to Marcin Gortat, the Wizards had a 10-point lead in the first quarter. Atlanta's Paul Millsap made a dunk to give the Hawks a 6-point lead before the half ended. Early in the third, Otto Porter gave the Wizards a 1-point lead after he nailed a 3. With seconds left in the third, Tim Hardaway slammed dunk to cut the Wizards' lead to 7. The Wizards kept a lead throughout the fourth quarter and won the game 114-107. In an anticipated series with 2 of this year's MVP candidates, the Houston Rockets took on the OKC Thunder. With a little over a minute left in the first quarter, Russell Westbrook connected a 3 to give the Thunder a lead. James Harden made a layup with seconds left in the quarter to cut the Thunder lead by 2. Early in the second, Patrick Beverley would put the Rockets up. Harden made mid-range jumper to give Houston a 3-point lead right before the half. With a made layup, Harden gave the Rockets a 15-point lead late in the third. Houston dominated the fourth quarter, keeping a big lead. Houston blew out OKC 118-87 in the first game of the series. The Lakers' season has ended, and for the 4th season in a row, they are not in the playoffs. For more on the Lakers' season, here are Eric Sklar and Jordan Williams.
Thanks. The season began with a promising 10-10 start. However, injuries and the inexperience of the young core set the Lakers back to reality. The team finished the season with a 26-56 record, a 9-game improvement from last season. While the season did not amount to many wins, there were plenty of highlights both on and off the court.
Most notably, team owner Jeannie Buss shocked the NBA world when she removed her brother Jim Buss as president of basketball operations and longtime general manager Mitch Kupchak, replacing them with Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. Since the shift in power, there is hope in Lakerland that the past few years of mediocrity are coming to an end. On the court, fans witnessed many promising moments as well.
Point guard D'Angelo Russell led the team in scoring this season, averaging 15.6 points and 4.8 assists per game. Forward Julius Randle led the team in rebounding and recorded 3 triple-doubles this season. Rookie Brandon Ingram impressed many after questions of hitting the rookie wall became an issue.
Ingram averaged the most minutes per game for any rookie around the league, playing almost 29 minutes a game. Another surprise for the Lakers this season was Croatian rookie Ivica Zubac. Zubac, who many believed would stay one more year in Europe, turned out to be a steal in the draft for the Lakers. He averaged 7 points and 4 rebounds on the season, but his impact on the court was more than just statistics.
With the offseason now here, Magic Johnson and the rest of the front office are looking forward to the draft lottery. If the Lakers pick is not in the top 3, the rights to the pick go to the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Lakers would also lose their 2019 first-round draft pick.
Currently, the Lakers have a 46.9% chance of keeping their draft pick, but won't know until the lottery takes place. And that's all for our Lakers season wrap-up. I'm Jordan Williams.
And I'm Eric Sklar.
Thanks, guys. That's all I have for sports. Now back to you.
North Park Elementary School in San Bernardino is set to reopen 1 week after a fatal shooting in a classroom. The murder-suicide left 3 dead, including the gunman, his estranged wife, and a student. School district officials say students and teachers wanted to resume classes. The district is providing crisis counselors and increased security.
10 years have passed since a massacre at the Virginia Tech campus. The families of 32 victims who were fatally shot by a mentally ill student gathered to mark the anniversary. One survivor, who is now working as a veterinarian in Virginia, walked away from Norris Hall that day with a gunshot wound. He He says the event was a celebration of the victims' lives.
For me, I kind of embody not the day that they died, but for me, more the day that they were living and happy.
As many as 20,000 people attended remembrance events that day, including a candlelight vigil.
Arkansas wants to carry out a series of executions, but is being blocked by the courts. The main issue is a sedative that's given before lethal injection. The supply of the sedative will run out at the end of the month, and the state says it has no source for additional doses. That's why Governor Asa Hutchinson has sped up the timetable for executions. Critics argue the sedative is unsuitable as part of an execution because the drug is too strong. Stay tuned for our recap of Weekend 1 at Coachella.
And we'll celebrate global diversity with CSUN's Carnival.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Miss Stevens, I just wiped malware off our system. People have got to stop clicking unsolicited email links and downloading free software unless it's from a trusted source.
Sounds great.
We need a data backup plan in a separate location in case we get hacked.
We need to focus on making profits, not spending them.
Learn to protect yourself from ransomware. If you become a victim, contact your local FBI office.
Another United passenger horror story. A couple says they were kicked off a flight on their way to their wedding. The couple was on their way to Costa Rica from Houston. The bride and groom say they found a man stretched across their assigned seats napping, so they moved up 3 rows. After sitting, a flight attendant asked them if they were in their ticketed seats. The couple explained the situation but was told to return to their assigned row. The couple was asked by a U.S. Marshal to get off the plane. United Airlines says the couple tried to sit in upgraded seats repeatedly and would not follow crew instructions. The couple was booked for another flight the next morning, but they say they won't be flying United again.
Authorities in Rosemead have charged a restaurant worker with giving a co-worker a THC-laced chocolate bar. Deputies were sent to the restaurant on a call of possible poisoning. Detectives searched Duwong Che's car and found the same chocolate bar that was given to the victim. Che posted bail and is scheduled for a court appearance at the end of the month.
Police across the country have been seeing multiple crimes broadcast on social media. As of last Monday, police in 5 states were searching for a Cleveland man who filmed himself killing someone. Steve Stevens posted the shooting on Facebook and also claimed to have committed multiple other homicides. There was also a suicide broadcast on Facebook Live in Los Angeles. The victim, an aspiring actor, shot himself in the head. A 14-year-old boy in Chicago was arrested for a sexual assault streamed on Facebook Live. Roughly 40 people tuned in to watch, and no one reported the incident.
A man has been arrested for stealing more than 100 cell phones at Coachella Music and Arts Festival. Police used the Find My Phone feature of the victims to track the stolen property. They found over 100 phones in the backpack of Rinaldo de Jesus Hanau. He was released after posting bail of $10,000. Most of the phones were returned to their owners, and the remaining were put in the lost and found.
Now let's go to Cheyenne for our entertainment news.
Thank you, Annie. Weekend 1 of Coachella is a wrap. YouTube made it possible for people who couldn't attend the pricey festival to watch live streams of the performances. With thousands and thousands of people in attendance, Friday night opened with performances from Travis Scott, Empire of the Sun, and the XX. Radiohead closed the night after dealing with sound difficulties. Band members walked off the stage in frustration multiple times. Saturday's lineup had Future, Schoolboy Q, DJ Snake, and Lady Gaga, all who brought out special guests to perform with them. Easter Sunday was the last night of Week 1, closing out the weekend with DJ Khaled, Lorde, and Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar performed many songs off his newly released album, Damn, which dropped on Good Friday. Weekend 2 is expected to be just as exciting with many more surprise performances. Watch out, Mickey. Here comes the Millennium Falcon. Star Wars Land is coming to both Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California. Walt Disney Imagineering and Lucasfilm representatives say guests will be able to choose their own experience, either working with the Resistance or the First Order. Disney has invested more than $4 billion. Both lands are expected to open by 2019. The first teaser trailer for Star Wars: The Last Jedi has been released. The force was strong with fans when the 2-minute teaser left them wanting more. The film is set to begin where The Force Awakens left off, with Rey and Luke Skywalker meeting for the first time. Expected to be one of the highest-grossing films of the year, it is set to be released December 15th. Fast and Furious 8 was box office gold Easter weekend, earning an estimated $532 million globally. The Fate of the Furious broke global records, but its U.S. rankings were slightly down from its previous installment in 2015. Fast and the Furious plans to expand the franchise with more movies in 2019 and 2021. HBO's Girls aired its final episode of the 6th-season series. Debuting in 2012, the show followed 4 20-something millennials who embarked on life together in New York. Lena Dunham, the show's creator and star, said she felt the characters had come full circle, starting out as girls and becoming women. 3-time Survivor contestant Jeff Varner says he has been fired from his day job for outing another contestant's sexuality. During the CBS show's eviction episode, Varner revealed fellow contestant Zeke Smith is transgender. Smith said he didn't want to be known as the trans Survivor player by fellow competitors and planned to keep his sexuality a secret. Varner says he was fired from his North Carolina real estate job with no warning. He has since apologized, saying the outing was the worst decision of his life. That's all I have for entertainment. Now back to you.
It was a colorful day at CSUN during the 20th annual multicultural fair known as Carnaval, hosted by University Student Union. Reporter Leo Ibarra has more on the story.
Throughout the day, there were live performances that represented international cultures. There were dances representing African culture and the Middle East, as well as Aztec performers. The Aztec dancers say their clothing is bright in colors because it represents colorful Aztec cities before they were destroyed. Carnaval also featured a Latin cuisine that included pupusas from El Salvador and churros from Mexico. Cold drinks like horchata and Jamaica from Mexico were also available. Students were able to get artwork painted on their bodies, from henna tattoos to the Day of the Dead or Dia de los Muertos artists. They also played dress up in this photo booth that was available to them. Student Michelle Scott says her fascination with Africa brought her to Carnaval.
My favorite artist is African, so I know about the continent and I study Africana studies. So when I found out that they'll be out here, I wanted to see how people react to the different music.
Kinesiology major Kenji says he enjoys seeing people come together.
Honestly, seeing the different ethnic diversity is pretty cool. And then watching the culture of the dance is also pretty cool as well.
At Carnaval, students are invited to come see the show, but they're also given the opportunity to be part of the showcase. Reporting in Northridge for Valley View News, I'm Leo Ibarra.
That's awesome that CSUN is bringing culture to our school.
It is. Thank you for watching Valley View News.
Stay tuned for our next edition.